Okay, welcome to our application walkthrough for SDV project Milestone 2, text-based adventure game in Unity. Okay, so here's our game, which is in the Unity editor, of course, and behind the game we're running a SQLite database. Here's our database here in database browser, so you can see we've got our various tables here: user, player, inventory, and event log. And as you can see, everything is currently empty. There's nothing in there. So we're just going to start up our game and we'll start demonstrating some of the functionality. Now, I won't get into the code that's in behind this in this video. I intend to do a second video where I kind of get into the classes and the domain structure a little bit more. This is just a bit of a walkthrough of the sort of functionality you're going to see as a user. So you can see we started. We have to register a player because, of course, we have nobody in our database currently to log in with. So I'm just going to quickly create a very original avatar here. Lovely, and I'll register them, and you will see in our database in the back. Here's our new player that I've just created. Okay, so we're going to start a game. Here we go, and we're off. We're on the beach. We've washed up ashore. Now here's your UI. We've got health that can go up and down. We've display our locations here. We display our inventory. We also have a map screen that shows our player's location here. This changes depending on where our player is, so it actually updates as we move around. There's a bigger screen for our inventory and an event log that kind of tracks what's going on and what's happening on our island adventures. Okay, now basically how it works is when we land on a stage, we do a function in the background that's very similar to rolling a dice. We pick a random number and we assign events to these numbers, which gives us basically random events that happen on these levels every time you visit them. Now, don't get me wrong, that event might be no event. It might actually be nothing is happening at all, or it can be a good event where you gain health, or a bad event where you potentially lose health, or you might find a new inventory item that you can use later in the game. We're in luck. This is a good one. This is actually a find event here, so something tangled in some driftwood. So if I excuse me, run one of my commands here and say search the driftwood. Hooray! So we've actually had a wee search in the driftwood and we've found a bit of fishing line. So what are we going to do? We are going to take that fishing line. Hooray! Happy days. So here you can see we've added a fishing line to our inventory, and there it is there. And of course, in the back, here we go. It's going on in real time. There we are. So yeah, happy days. We've got our fishing line. Now we're just going to navigate to another stage. We're going to head east. Yep, and I try to have directions on all stages just so players know where to go. Now, unfortunately, this is actually my only fully functioning level at this point. The other levels are just going to kind of show you changing placeholder data here. It will say if it's a good event or a bad event or something like that, but it's just going to be generic placeholder data. Unfortunately, this is the only stage that really supports the sort of full functionality as I intend the game to have it. But anyway, we can navigate between our stages, so we'll just show you that. Here we are in mangroves. You can see our map location has changed, and in our log you can see we're just kind of tracking, we're moving around, we've found something. Happy days. We're just going to go quickly through the stages. We've got another stage here. We go further east into the jungle, and from here you see we can head north or south. We'll just shoot up to the north. Oops, need to go. Lovely. Here we are up in another level up in the north there, and we're just going to head back down south back into the jungle stage, and we've got another stage further down. Hooray, there we go. So, and as you can see, map's reflecting that we're getting around. Now I'm just going to go back to, probably back to the beach, which is the only one that really sort of works as intended. Jump back there. Yep, there you go. You can see no event text, meaning a null event, and just telling you it's only supporting navigation at this moment. That'll be in the next iteration. Hopefully we'll have some actual storylines going on. Let me see. Sorry, so we're just going to go back. West, happy days. We've only got a null event, so there's nothing going on there. I'll just jump backwards and forwards a couple of times and see if I can trigger another random event for us so we can see that in action. Oops. Actually, I'll just demonstrate. We do have a bit of error catching going on in the background here, so if I try and say go west, ground myself in the ocean, nothing happening. Not gonna. Basically, we're just going to get a generic little placeholder if I try. Go. Again, we're just going to get this placeholder saying, sorry, what? We try and use symbols and numbers. Then again, we'll post it, but our logic in the background is just going to catch and say, what? Whoa there, that's no commands that I recognize. I'm going to give you a generic error thing. Now, let's try and jump back and hopefully we'll get one of our events here. Isn't that always the way? You never get one when you actually want one, when you're not fast. Here's a good one. So there's a smell in the air coming from behind some rocks. What are we going to do? We're going to search those rocks. Whoa, no, bad times. Okay, so we came face to face with a seal. This was, of course, a bad event. We've lost health. We've been frightened and battered around. Our health up here has dropped, you can see. Of course, here it is in the background. It's dropped as well. So yeah, that essentially that gameplay with a live update to the database happening all the time. This seems to run. I mean, as you can see, it runs really seamlessly. There's no sort of lag or latency in the movement of the data. It's great. Anyway, so okay, happy days. I'm just going to go. Oops, that would be easy, but no. Hold on, we'll just go. Cool. So I'm just going to stop here for a moment. I'm going to quit my game. I'm going to. Time to cook dinner. Out we go. Now, shut down my application. I've quit my application. Shut it away. Put it away. And you can see that here we are. We've still got all our information in the database. Now, when I want to pick up the game and play it again, now I can actually log in this time because we already have a user in our database. Log in. Now, if I want to continue my game, continue game, here we are. We're in the jungle. We've got all our inventory, the health. We've got nothing's changed. We've got all the here's our location. Here's our log of all the sort of things we've been up to. Where we've been, what we've found stuff. We've been attacked by a seal. So yeah, so happy days. Now, if I quit and say start a new game, currently I'm only allowing my users to have one saved game on the go, so they can start new or they can continue the previous, but they can't essentially build up several games on the go. It just seems a bit excessive. So if we start a new one, here we go. So we've reset all our data essentially. And there's an event I can show you, a health update. So you can see here was our previous. Started a new game. Everything's updated to the fresh game start data. Okay, so we're just going to some edible seaweed. Yes, please. We'll have a little bit of that. Get some seaweed. There you go. So you can see it was a good one. We felt a bit better after eating the seaweed. Gained a couple of health points. There's that reflection in the database. Okay, now I don't know if this was actually a requirement for this milestone, but I did build this to basically support multiple users. So we're going to register a new user. Just because this will happen, Todd, I'm going to put you in there. Let's see. Lovely. Oops. Apologies. There we go. Okay, you are now a registered user. There you go. You're in there. Okay, now you as a new user, another thing is, of course, you can't continue a game because you don't have a game to continue. So that's not actually going to do anything until you have at least started a game, and then it's going to pick that up and it will update it in real time and you can use it. So Todd's character has to start fresh. Here we are. And okay, cool. Now if I come out of my game and I come back into my game, I've quit, I've gone away, I've come back. Now if I want to jump in, oops, sorry, that's the register page. We want the login page. Lovely, here I am back in it. If I want to continue my game, then there we go. You can see this is the previous game I had. So yeah, so essentially the game will support multiple local users. I mean, my thought process was that the device, more than one person could use a game on a device. So you probably need to account for multiple users just to stop people from overwriting each other's games and all sorts of bad things happening. Anyway, so that's the basic sort of functionality of the game. A few things that I would love to just kind of have a little bit of time to work on, and that's, of course, get actual kind of event behavior happening on all the pages, which is not a huge endeavor because I do kind of have the logical functions in the background and controllers behind each level that handle that, but it's just actually a matter of writing the narratives, and creative writing takes quite a bit of time, I find, to actually do it in any way that makes sense. So yeah, I'd love to do that. I would also like to get a scroll happening on this. Again, I actually know how to do this. You'll see if I just sort of do that, you'll see we've got a scroll here that becomes visible as we sort of build up a bit of storyline on the display. So yeah, so I'd love to get a scroller in here because this, of course, can get quite massive as you play for a while and you travel around and it's updating all your events. So yeah, I'd like to get a scroll in there. It would also be really nice to, you can see when we enter more text, we get our scroll bar, but I cannot work out how to get this actual view to track the latest entries so that it would just actually track downwards, and every time that, say, I entered something, that the view would just track it down, and then we could be like, which would work a lot better. It works, but it's a little bit of a painful workaround, sort of entering something and then having to come over here and go, oh, what did I enter? What happened? So ideally, it would just automatically be updating, and we would just have the ability to go back to sort of find out things rather than sort of having to go down to see how a story is progressing. Yeah, but apart from that, I'm reasonably happy with it. It doesn't fault out. It updates the database. It seems to be reasonably robust. I can't sort of easily break it, though. Of course, it's pretty unexciting with a limited storyline and such at the moment. But anyway, have fun playing around with it. And feedback, of course, is welcome. Lovely. Okay, and next I'll do a wee video where I'll actually get into the code, and I'll just sort of try and walk you through a little bit of the code, some of the logic, some of the sort of main structure and stuff in the background. Cool, so that'll be coming shortly. Lovely, thanks for watching.